He was a bit of both. He was actually not only really smart and talented and he had genetical sort of advantages, but at the same time, he worked his ass off and he literally gave up his whole life to his dream. Okay, awesome. Was Elon Musk?
Now, we've talked about Musk.
Was Elon Musk a hard worker or just smart? That's exactly what we'll be digging into in today's video. You're gonna be pretty surprised because he was a bit of both. He was actually not only really smart and talented and he had genetical sort of advantages.
We're 5% too big, and if we just take all the proportions and drop them by.
But at the same time, he worked his ass off and he literally...
But for Elon Musk, it was just a Tuesday.
Gave up his whole life to his dream. So let's talk about Elon Musk's youth. In college, he studied business. He competed in public speaking contests because
This is math.
he knew that that would be an important strength that he would need to have. He was intense and very competitive. He never drank or did any drugs whatsoever, literally nothing.
I mean, it's legal, right?
It's totally legal.
Okay.
How does that work? Do people get upset at you if you do certain things?
I do not smoke pot. As anyone who watched that podcast could tell, I have no idea.
Elon Musk's work ethic was insane. If there was a way I could not eat so I could work more, I would not eat. I wish there was a way to get nutrients without having to sit down for a meal. That's insane. Musk doesn't waste time. He has a super high pain threshold, which is something I'm trying to work on. I'm trying to grow my pain threshold.
I have a fairly high pain threshold, and there's a friend of mine who says like starting a company is like staring into the abyss and eating glass. And there's some truth to that.
He kept working and stayed focused. Elon Musk's ability to stay focused in the midst of crisis is one of his main advantage. Elon Musk gets hyper-rational.
Listen, you know, when you say it all sounds a little bit crazy, he's landing a rocket on a drone ship at sea. I mean, this is something he's done. You just have to shake your head at what he's been able to accomplish.
This is not good.
And is able to stay clear and make long-term decisions. The harder it gets, the better he gets. The reason he moved to LA is for SpaceX, because it was surrounded by the world's top aeronautical engineer thinkers. This would help refine his ideas and help recruit a lot of people, because if he stayed in San Francisco, all the aeronautic thinkers would have to move from LA down to San Francisco, and that added a barrier to entry. Another thing is NASA and other space companies were building Ferraris for every single launch, when it is possible that a Honda Accord might be able to do the trick.
Think until your brain hurts. That's basically, if you haven't thought until your brain hurts, then you haven't tried hard enough.
So rather than put all your eggs on this one perfect ship, Elon would go off volume. When employees are distracted, unwell, or missing resources, Elon can be very demanding, but he'll make sure the obstacles in your way are removed. Someone would ask to buy a $200,000 machine or some other pricey part that they deemed essential for like Falcon 1 success, and Elon Musk would deny it most likely. Whereas he's totally paying a similar amount to put a shiny surface on the factory floor to make it nice, which is crazy. But I think it makes sense because $200,000, that's something you can maybe make in-house. Whereas if you make the whole factory shiny, everyone's morale would be increased. And if everyone's morale, and there's like say 1,000 employees, everyone's increased morale by 2%, that makes much more than $200,000 in return. Sometimes he wouldn't even let you buy a part for $2,000 because he expects you to find it cheaper or invent something cheaper. So he wouldn't flinch renting a plane for $90,000 just to get some space parts. He would place this urgency that the expected revenue in 10 years would be $10 million per day. And every day that we're slow to achieve our goals was a day missing on that money. A very interesting way of seeing it, which is pretty cool. Like, damn, like every day I take off or I sacrifice is one extra day after work to become a millionaire. That makes sense, sorta. But at the same time, you do need days off to recover. Elon Musk would pick markets that are old and stagnant and innovate. So SpaceX was the hip and forward-thinking place to work at. Another thing he would do is he would quiz specialized employees until he learned 90% of what you know. He wants answers that get down to the fundamental laws of physics. He will outmaneuver you, outthink you, and out-execute you. Each one of his business is interconnected in the short term and the long term. Tesla makes battery packs that SolarCity can sell to end customers. SolarCity supplies Teslas with charging stations with solar panels. Everything's working together. Falcon Heavy, one of its products, can take up 2x the payload to the nearest competitor at 1/3 the cost, which is insane. Like, how can people say no? Another thing is he made sure that PayPal fees were half of other systems. Also even thought about creating a PayPal money market fund, giving people interest so they will be willing to keep their money in PayPal. When coming up with these amazing, crazy ideas, he always starts at first principle. Starts at the first principle of a problem. What are the physics of it? How much time will it take? How much will it cost? How much cheaper can I make it? So like, that's sort of how he thinks. Pretty crazy guy. His sort of biggest tip is create something that delivers fundamental value. Something that's just a no-brainer that people just need to jump on. Like, that's my goal with my education program. Like, make it so cheap, so affordable, have it create so many results where it's a no-brainer for you to join, because there's nothing out there that offers more value.
Store to $100,000.
Journey before I started following Andy.
I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and my e-commerce journey.
Odisha, a state, I mean, nobody knows in India.
Well-proven blueprint to follow for the important aspects of e-commerce.
15K in revenue.
So the first 30 days that I started Andy's mentorship program, I managed to scale the store to almost 120,000.
So yeah, what's your thoughts? Is Elon Musk super smart or is he a super hard worker? My answer is I think he's a bit of both, but I think everyone can achieve at least 1/10 of what he's achieved through just sheer hard work. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. As always, these slides are completely for free in the description below. Let's go ahead and announce last video's winners for $1,000 worth of courses, a consulting course with me. The winner's here. If you guys want to qualify, all you have to do is drop a comment below, follow me on Instagram, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, like this video, and I'll be picking the best comment every single video. On that, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate your time and effort, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with nothing but more value. Peace.